Did you know that Marvel is known for being meticulous in their movies, adding so many details and callbacks that many people miss? So let me share a few of them with you, as I have compiled 10 Marvel movie details you might have missed.
Inevitable.
How exactly did Doctor Strange got so powerful in Infinity War that he can fight Thanos 1v1 when it's just been a year after he becomes a sorcerer? When Doctor Strange trapped Dormammu in a time loop, you can see that every time he died, he used a different spell to fight. This is because with every loop, the experience he gained was retained, meaning he effectively trained against Dormammu for thousands of years before Dormammu rage quit.
Come to bargain.
You tripping, bro. You tripping.
This explains why, by the time of Infinity War, Strange had become so powerful that he was able to look through 14 million possible futures in just a few minutes. Did you know that when Thor saw the vision of the Infinity Stones in Age of Ultron, it had a much deeper meaning behind it? When Thor entered the mystical lake, he had a vision of the Infinity Stones. But if you look closely, the clouds in the background also resemble the Infinity Gauntlet. Many people believe this vision represents Thanos and his gauntlet, but that's not actually the case. The vision Thor saw didn't show the future, but rather some of his memories. The gauntlet shown here is actually the one Odin possesses inside his vault. Did you know that Thanos specifically waited until Infinity War to make his move because there were two people he feared fighting? In the Avengers 1, instead of going himself, he allowed Loki to borrow the scepter, which contained the Mind Stone. This was a risky move for Thanos because after Loki lost, instead of gaining the Space Stone, he lost the Mind Stone. However, he had no other choice at the time because the Ancient One was still alive. If Thanos struggled against Doctor Strange when he already had 3 stones, he wouldn't have stood a chance against the Ancient One, who could harness the power of the Dark Dimension. The other person he avoided was Odin. Since Odin was incredibly powerful, Thanos had to wait until Odin passed away before making his move. After Thor Ragnarok, with Asgard destroyed and Odin gone, Thanos attacked the Asgardian refugees to retrieve the Tesseract. In Captain America, the First Avenger, when Steve chased after the Hydra agent, he was barefoot because he had just emerged from the chamber. However, for safety reasons, Chris Evans couldn't run around without shoes while filming. So instead of using CGI, the production team created fake feet for him to wear. In the first Avengers movie, when Tony and Bruce Banner are talking, you can see that Tony eats a blueberry snack.
Blueberry?
Yeah. This is because RDJ had a habit of eating while filming and would hide food around the set so much that even the crew couldn't find all of it. Since this quirk aligned with Tony Stark's personality, they just decided to keep it in the movie. Did you know how Tony Stark gained Doctor Strange's respect? In Infinity War, when Tony and Strange first met, they constantly clashed with each other.
Are you seriously leaning on the cauldron of the cosmos?
In these scenes, you can notice that Strange never respects Tony and only calls him Stark.
Stark.
Yeah.
Can you get us home?
However, after Strange looked into the 14 million possible futures, he saw that Tony would ultimately sacrifice himself to save everyone. This made him respect Tony, and unlike before, he finally calls him by his first name, Tony.
Tony, there was no other way.
In Captain America Civil War, during the scene where Tony recruits Spider-Man, Tony says, "I'm gonna sit here, so you move the leg."
I'm gonna sit here so you move the leg.
This line was actually improvised. Tom Holland forgot to leave space for Robert Downey to sit, and Robert, staying in character, added the line. Robert even looked around because he thought the director would call for a cut. In Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Stan Lee has a cameo where he is seen talking to the Watchers.
That time, I was a Federal Express man.
The scene he's referencing is the one where he delivers a package for Tony Stank in Civil War.
Are you Tony Stank?
There's actually a theory that Stan Lee's cameo suggests he is an informant for the Watchers, secretly observing the events of the Marvel Universe. He even made a cameo in Phineas and Ferb.
The usual?
Yep, same old, same old.
In Avengers Endgame, after Iron Man sacrifices himself, there's actually a deleted scene where all the heroes bow down to him. This moment actually ties back to the first Avengers movie, where Loki forces a crowd to kneel before him, but an old man refuses and says this.
Not to men like you.
There are no men like me.
There are always men like you.
This shows that Tony was the kind of man people would willingly kneel for. Did you know there's a Minecraft reference in a Marvel movie? In Age of Ultron, when Tony and Steve are talking while breaking firewood, Steve is wearing a blue shirt and breaking wood with his bare hands. Does that sound familiar? Steve? A blue shirt? Breaking wood with his hands?